It's very hard to predict the future, but historically we've seen very accurate 4-year cycles. But there's also many things in the world that are 4 years. The Bitcoin halving is every 4 years. The United President's election is every 4 years. The stock market goes through a 4-year cycle as well. If you look at it historically, so it doesn't mean that the next cycle will be exactly 4 years. But I think there's a pretty decent probability that that might happen. But if we look at all the other different things that you just mentioned, that you said are different, the inflation, the war, everything else, those things should really help the crypto industry. Those things should really push people to want, the inflation should push people to want to hold a limited supply asset. So the war and the more the world is divided, the more that the Bitcoin is a very global currency that actually shines. So the more those issues happen, the more people should need, the advantages of crypto blockchain is actually more clear. So yeah, to be honest, to be very frank, I was kind of surprised that Bitcoin only made an all-time high at 68,000. I thought it was going to go much higher. But again, I was wrong. But all of those things in theory should help crypto. But the fact that right now we're going through a winter is kind of surprising to me. But again, no one can predict markets. I can't. But logics do work in the long run. I think we're going to be totally okay. There are a group of people, there are a very large group of people that I know that is not going away. So there are some new investors that gets shocked, surprised, fear, and they go away for a while. But pretty much of all the people I know who are here since 2017, those guys is gonna stay. Sometimes a bit faster, sometimes a bit slower, depending on overall market conditions, macroeconomics, and other factors. But we're all here. I think 10, 20 years from now, people will be using blockchain crypto the way they use the internet without mentioning it. Today, I don't say like, hey, I'm gonna use the internet to message you. We just use it we just use it. There's many different applications on it. So I think 10, 20 years, we will get there. 10 years might still be a little bit tough, to be honest. Even if you look at the internet today, when we talk about video conferencing, sometimes still doesn't work that well. But I think eventually, like, people shouldn't be talking about blockchains. People shouldn't be talking about consensus, nodes, and all this other geeky stuff. People should be like, hey, I'm sending you some money. Hey, I'm doing a fundraising globally. We will get there. It's just a matter of time. So I think crypto is a technology that can increase the freedom of money for billions of people around the world. And throughout history, anytime we can increase the freedom of something without sacrificing other aspects, security, compliance, ease of use, fees, etc. If we can increase the freedom of something, our civilization advances. So if you look at freedom of speech in some countries only today, freedom of press, again, only in some countries, freedom of information, freedom of education, freedom from slavery. Anytime those things happen, and those things happen over a number of years, they all didn't just happen like that. They all took multiple decades or even centuries for those changes to come. But when those things happen, our civilization advanced. So today we have the new technology for money that can significantly increase freedom. Today, our money is not that free. Like, even after you pay all your taxes, if you say you're an entrepreneur in China, if you move more than $50,000 US dollars out of China in any given year, that's called money laundering. So if you're a successful entrepreneur in China and you want to buy an apartment in Paris, guess what? You won't be able to move the money legally. This is your after-tax money. So that we don't have the level of freedom there. So I do think this technology will enhance our freedom of money. And in Africa, 89% of people don't have access to banking. So they're stuck with using some really archaic methods of finances. So I do think this is a really, really meaningful thing for us to do. And at the same time, we want to stay 100% compliant. We don't want to cause any trouble. We don't want to decrease security aspects. So we need to maintain those aspects and increase the freedom.